Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the social science session. In our last video, we started with the lesson India, location, political, and physical divisions, where we talked about the country India in detail. First of all, we talked about the geographical location of our country, that it is located in the continent of Asia. Further, we discussed that India is spread across 29 degree of longitudes, and therefore there's a great difference in the local times of various places in India. So the time difference between the easternmost point of Arunachal Pradesh and the westernmost point of Gujarat is almost 2 hours. Further, we discussed that India, along with Pakistan, Bhutan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, is termed as the Indian subcontinent, as it is this very big geographical unit is cut off from the rest of Asia by the Great Himalayas. Further, we talked about the neighboring countries of India, that is Pakistan, Afghanistan in the northwest, China, Nepal, Bhutan in the northeast, and Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east, while Sri Lanka and Maldives are our neighbors across the sea. The Park Strait is a narrow stretch of water which separates India and Sri Lanka. The Indian peninsula in the south divides the Indian Ocean into Arabian Sea in the western and the Bay of Bengal in the eastern side. Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands are parts of India. After discussing the location of our country, we talked about the political and administrative divisions, where we read that the country has 28 states and 8 union territories. After discussing the political and administrative divisions, that is the states and various states, and the countries sharing their borders with our country, we moved ahead to physical divisions. So, India has very distinct physical features that divide the country into 5 major divisions. And we talked about the Northern Mountains, the Northern Plains, the Great Indian Desert, in our previous video. So, we will take a quick recapitulation of these 3 physical features, and we will also talk about the peninsular plateaus and the coastal plains and islands. So, in the north, we see that the country consists of the Karakoram and the Himalayan ranges. The Karakoram is the northernmost range of mountains in India. It extends from India and Kashmir and moves eastwards into Tibet, where it is known as the Kailash range. The highest peak of Karakoram range is the Mount Godwin Austen, or K2, and it is the second highest peak in the world. The Siachen and the Baltoro are important glaciers here. Further, we also talked about the Ladakh and Zaskar ranges, which lie to the south of Karakoram on either side of river Indus. Then we talked about the Himalayan range, which is divided into 3 ranges as per its height. That is, the highest, the Himadri range, the next is the Himachal range, and the outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. The Himadri is also known as the Greater Himalayas, as it is the highest range. The Himachal is also known as the Middle Himalayas, and Shivalik is also known as the Shivaliks, is also known as the Outer Himalayas. And we also talked about all these 3 ranges in detail. Further, we talked about the northern plains, and here we learned that the northern plains are very, very fertile because it is made up of fine soil called alluvium, which is brought down and deposited by the rivers originating from the mountains. The northern plain is divided into three parts on the basis of the rivers. The three main river basins are the Indus Basin, the Ganga Basin, and the Brahmaputra Basin. Now, let us talk about the great Indian desert, which is also known as the Thar Desert. It lies west to the Aravalli Hills and extends from western Rajasthan to Pakistan. Most of its rivers and streams are lost in the sands, and therefore the water is scarce. That is, there's a scarcity, there's a lack of water. And there are no big rivers like Ganga and Yamuna. It has very little, or we can say it has scanty vegetation. Saltwater lakes like the Sambar Lake is found in this region. Then we move ahead to the next relief feature, that is the peninsular plateau. So the plateau range, the plateau region lies covers a large part of India, and it is believed to be the oldest landmass of India. This area is triangular in shape and highly uneven as it is made of rocks. The plateaus are made up of igneous and metamorphic rocks. Numerous hill ranges and valleys are located in this area. River Narmada, which is again a very important river, divides the entire plateau of India into two parts. These are the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The Central Highland lies in the north, bounded by the Aravalli Range in the northwest and the Vindhyas in the south. Malwa, Bundelkhand, Bagelkhand, and Chota Nagpur plateaus are all made of hard igneous rocks. And the rivers flowing through the Central Highlands, that is this part of the plateau, these are Chambal, Betwa, Son, Ken, and Damodar. Next, we talk about the southern part of this plateau, that is the Deccan Plateau, which lies to the south beyond the Narmada River. So, it lies to the south and is bounded by the Satpura Ranges, Mahadev Hills, Maikal Hills, and Kaimur Hills in the north. The Western Ghats or Shyadris borders the Deccan Plateau in the west, while the Eastern Ghats form the eastern boundaries, and both the Ghats, that is the Eastern Ghat and the Western Ghat, they meet at the Nilgiri Hills in the south. And these Nilgiri Hills, these are also known as the Blue Mountains. Now, talking about the hill ranges, these are Satpuras and Vindhyas. They are the important ranges. And the rivers, the important rivers which flow through Deccan Plateau are Narmada, Tapi, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. So Narmada and Tapi flow into the Arabian Sea, while Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri, they flow into the Bay of Bengal. The peninsular plateaus are rich in mineral deposits like coal and iron ore. And we also find the tribes here like Bhils and Gonds. They live in this region who still follow their unique culture. Next, we come to the coastal plains and islands. Along the eastern and western coasts of India, we find coastal plains on either side of the Deccan Plateau. They run for about 6,100 kilometers, covering the stretch of land runs from Gujarat to West Bengal. The western and the eastern coastal plains meet at Cape Comorin or Kanyakumari, which is the southernmost tip of the mainland of India. Now, the western coastal plain, the northern part of these plains is called the Konkan coast, and the southern part is called the Malabar coast. This region is extremely beautiful, full of coconut trees along the lagoons. The beautiful region. This region is called the backwaters. The backwaters of Kerala are famous all over the world, and tourists from various corners of the world come to enjoy the beauty of the backwaters of Kerala. Then we talk about the eastern coastal plain. The eastern coastal plains are bordered because of the formation of deltas by the four flowing rivers, that is Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. The northern part of these plains is called the Northern Sikars, and the southern part is called the Coromandel coast. And finally, we come to the islands. So I hope you know what are islands. Islands are land areas surrounded by water from all four sides. So there are two main groups of islands which are parts of India. One in the Bay of Bengal and the other in the Arabian Sea. The group of islands which are there in the Bay of Bengal are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and they comprise of about 550 islands. They are stretched for a distance of about 600 kilometers, and they are formed by the volcanic eruptions. The barren island here is the only active volcano in India. And the other group of islands lying in the Arabian Sea is the Lakshadweep. So, the Lakshadweep in the Arabian Sea off the coast of Kerala is again a group of small coral islands. That is, the Lakshadweep Islands are made up of coral deposits over millions of years. It took millions of years to form these coral islands. With an area of about 5 kilometer square, Minicoy is the largest island in the Lakshadweep. So, with this, we come to an end of this chapter. I hope all the physical features, all the relief features of our country, they all are clear to everybody. So, see you all again in the next video. Thank you so much.